Hello everybody, it's Daniel here, bringing you the GameX review for Lost Sea today from EastAsiaSoft. We hope you're a fan of being stranded on islands, because Lost Sea immediately crashes your plane in the Bermuda Triangle. The game is action-adventure with an emphasis on exploration and roguelike elements, and it's also got a bit of a B-movie feel to it. You'll notice it with the initial circumstance and dialogue that you are presented with in this game. It basically gets out of the way as fast as it possibly can, and then places the emphasis on the gameplay. So it's sort of like this backdrop that they have where danger is everywhere and you must survive this harsh wilderness. Very B-movie feel to it, but it's quite nice because it does work in emphasizing mechanics of the game, rather than some groundbreaking narrative that we're going to experience. So let's talk about the gameplay then. You're going to be playing on a procedurally generated chain of islands in the Bermuda Triangle. The objective on each island is to find tablets that will enable you to travel to further islands along the chain. Each tablet has a numerical value tied to it that will determine the amount of islands that you can move along the chain, and you can find upwards of 3 of these on each island. Through this, you're going to be fighting monsters, gathering gold that you can use to upgrade your ship, and recruiting new crewmates that can help you. Each one of them has a handful of abilities that you'll be able to use to help you on your journey. For instance, if you find a locksmith, they can open chests for you. If you find a carpenter, they can build small little wooden bridges for you that will enable you to reach places you otherwise wouldn't have access to. If you find a miner, they can dig up buried treasure. I really wish I had a miner at this particular moment, because got a little bit of a sneaking suspicion that there might be something of interest under the ground. The crew system is really quite nice though, and I thoroughly enjoyed it because there's tangible benefits to having particular crewmates on your team over others, and it's kind of daunting in the early game as well because you only have access to one slot and you have to hold out a bit before you can unlock more of them. But it's quite nice because it really encourages exploration of every island. You can unlock more crew slots through the upgrade system that you'll find at the dock of every island. The experience you earn from fighting monsters can be used to unlock new abilities and new traits for your character. One of the invaluable ones I found is to buy Sprint as early as you can because it'll let you run faster and also circle enemies when it comes to the combat. And speaking of the combat, it's unfortunately one of the weaker points of the game. While you do have access to a variety of items that you'll find from chests over the islands, the basic combat comes down to simply swinging your sword, and that's it. Most of the encounters you have are a battle of positioning yourself and avoiding the enemy's attacks. And while it's fun for the first couple of encounters, I really do wish you had a couple more abilities just to spice it up. Now granted, there are abilities that you can unlock that will vary the combat in this way through the upgrade system, but there's not enough by default, which is a bit of an issue. You're going to have to work hard to actually unlock enough things to make the combat just a bit more interesting, such as a spin attack or a roll. The items that you obtain from chests do help alleviate the combat as well, but unfortunately because they're single use, you end up sort of hoarding them for the final boss, and you don't really actively use them that much. And the reason this is an issue is because of the game's emphasis on being a roguelike. If you die, you're going to have to start over with a new character, and you're going to lose access to all those little upgrades that you have and go back to the default. And the default is just kind of repetitive because you're continually going to be circle strafing around your enemies, and it sort of ties in with another problem that this game has. The AI for the crew isn't always the smartest. Whenever you engage in combat, your crew actually can't help you, so what they do is they cower away to the side and try and get out of there, and basically let you deal with the fights. Because you are the macho man in this B-movie, you must fight the monsters. Only you can escape the perils of the Bermuda Triangle. But because you're strafing so much in combat and your crew is following so close behind you, they accidentally get hit all the time, and I lost many a crew member simply because they wouldn't get out of the way. And it's the game's insistence on being a roguelike that makes this problematic, because having a crew die in such a frustrating manner as this and having a permanent consequence to it is not that enjoyable of an experience. The combat still needs that bit more of a variety because you're going to be in the default position so many times with this game. Like, if you die, you'll have to start over and you'll be back to this scenario. So that scenario that you're falling back to needs to be interesting again so that you can work your way up. And unfortunately, there's a couple of issues that tie into this. The maps and how they are procedurally generated, while it's very cool and offers a lot of variety, oftentimes there's a lot of places that have no actual benefit on the map. There seems to be a lot of dead ends, and it's really unfortunate because this game actively encourages to explore every nook and cranny, because there is loads of treasure that you will otherwise miss if you don't explore every inch. Unfortunately, sometimes with the generation, there's not much to actually be found, which is a little disappointing. Despite all of this, I really enjoyed my time with the game. I found it very charming and very colourful. It was definitely fun to play for the first couple of hours, and it's only in the later time that I had a couple of issues with the repetitions of the combat. And I think if the game gave you access to more of the tools that you can unlock as you progress through earlier in the game, then I think this would help greatly, because it would add that much needed variety. But as it stands, I really enjoyed the emphasis on exploration. The game definitely has its explorer aesthetic on point, and in particular, the music in this game is really, really good. It fits the tone of exploration spectacularly well and really deserves some praise. As a little technical end note for PC users, this game has no mouse support, so caution if you wanted to use that, you're going to have to use a gamepad instead. Although to the game's credit, it does even suggest this in the controls menu. If you'd like to try out Lost Sea for yourself, you can find it on Xbox One, PS4, Steam, GOG, and the Humble Store for $15 of your regional equivalent. Thanks for watching this review, everyone, and if you're looking for even more gaming recommendations, can I point you in the direction of GameX.io? Once the site launches, you're going to be able to see a host of gaming recommendations based on your past gaming history, which is pretty cool when you think about it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been Daniel, and I hope you enjoyed this review.